And if you don't know, now you do know, this is Guns. This is The Gun Show, broadcasting live, the greatest city in the world, the city that never, ever sleeps. Normally, I'm out of Madison Square Garden, but you can't go to the Garden right now. You can't go to too many places. But I wanted to make sure that when this all started happening, that the Gun Show continued being able to talk to you, the listeners out there. I thought this is, during these times, or during any time, music is very important. And we've had some great guests in the past. And I reached out to my longtime friend. I don't get to talk to him as much these days, but I'm so stoked at all the success and the positive things that have been going on for him throughout the band's career and more. And he's on the show. We always have a blast. It's Josh Dunn, 21 Pilots, here on The Gun Show. What's up, my man? How are you?
Hello. Dude, you were one of the first people that I ever did an interview with. We talked on the phone early, 10 years ago. And man, I don't normally talk in front of people, and I just remember being so nervous to talk to you on the phone.
Oh, really? How did we do
now?
Yeah, exactly. Now you're gotten a little bit better since then. But do you remember? I mean, because I was back then, I was just I was just like a fan. You know what I mean? Just talking so psyched. Now I'm a fan still, but I put my words better together a little bit. Do you remember? I'm sure we did well. I'm sure we both crushed it.
Yeah, I want to go back and look that up. Jeez.
Yeah. Have you did you ever find yourself just kind of playing off of that, and we got plenty to get to, did you those first couple of years or whatnot, playing in front of shows and gradually getting bigger, and all of a sudden you're doing arenas and then of course festivals and more like that, did the butterflies ever go away, or do they still kind of come at you still?
Oh man, well, yeah, it's a crazy feeling playing a show, because you're responsible for the entertainment of, whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people. And that can be a lot of pressure. So you'd really have to and I guess I especially feel bad for, an artist it's just themselves up there. I at least got one other guy that I can kind of just be like, well, he's the guy that's entertaining. I'm just,
look at him, not me. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely, it feels like a lot of pressure. But I chose the drums to kind of alleviate some of that from myself, because I just, like I said, I've never loved to be the center of attention and just be in front of a bunch of people, especially talking. That's something that hasn't really changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it, but drumming, I've always felt really comfortable. And I remember when I kind of when I learned my first drum beat at the music store, it was Guitar Center or something. I had the headphones in on the electronic drum set, and as soon as I could get all my limbs to do something, I remember popping the headphones out and then plugging it into the amp, the speaker that they've got next to it. And I was like, sweet, I don't care if people hear now.
Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, sign me up. Yeah,
So that's kind of that's just been the one thing that I'm just like, man, I want people to see this. This is cool. I can play the drums, and that's an area where I don't mind kind of putting myself in front of people. But it is, I guess, to answer your question, it's still, yeah, that feeling of kind of, because you want to impress people, and you want to entertain people and get them excited, and the kind of, just anticipation and hoping that everything goes right, especially with electronics.
Yeah.
There's a lot that kind of goes through your mind before.
A lot of variables too, because you can only control something so much, or that's why you put yourself and surround yourself with a good crew and techs. Right. You know what I mean? Because there's so many variables that can possibly go terribly wrong. So you just got to,
and they've all gone wrong. There's just, I could recount stories for hours of just kind of technical failure or something that just wasn't right. And I think you just always deal with that. And I think that, and Tyler and I have talked about this, but I think that, growing and getting better as a performer is not necessarily eliminating those things going wrong, but just kind of adapting and changing how you respond to them.
Right.
And because back in the day, I would just get so frustrated when, you know, when something technically went wrong. And I think, but then everybody would be able to know, and then it's the whole room is tense. And I'll see bands do that now, and I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but they're all reacting in a way that, you know, I think maybe in a couple of years they'll kind of learn how to just chill,
kind of work through it, or kind of just adapt and just realize, you know, there's always tomorrow. Every show can't be 100%, but you can put 100% energy into it. You know, you control the things that you can control, you know, and kind of just make the best of it. You mentioned, we've had you on almost probably like a decade ago. I know it was pre-Vessel because I know it was like holding on to you, like the demo was like being emailed around and people were like, yo, check this out. And we're like, yeah, hell yeah. And just started to buzz and stuff. And, you know, especially with the Gun Show, it's not really interviews I do conversations. And that's why, like, it's always a blast whenever we have you come on the show. Obviously I want to talk like level of concern and stuff like that, but let's get to like the human side a little bit. 2020 has been wild for sure. A scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, like you've absolutely gone crazy and lost it. Where are you put, like, at 1 being everything's fine, where are you putting yourself the last couple months? Like, have you, you know, some good days, some bad days? Where are we thinking right now, man? It's been tough, you know?
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's still going on. Still things are changing. It's, you know, and it's different state by state, kind of like you said, but yeah, it's kind of like, all right, things are open now. All right, now things are closed. And then it's just like, man, part of me just thinks that we should just spend a month and a half of like, just like deep, like, let's like hone it back in, refocus, and like not leave the house at all. And hopefully then, you know, it just kind of fixes itself. But yeah, I don't know. We've never done this before. We're all figuring it out. And so I guess I think that the toughest thing is that, like, we were going to be in Europe right now playing festivals and playing shows, and obviously that's not happening now. And when we first started, I guess this is just like a reminiscing conversation. When we first started, I was always just really excited when there was something on the calendar ahead of us and that we could look forward to. And it's just like, oh, cool. This is pushing our band forward because there's shows coming up that I can see on the schedule. And so having that this year was excited. It was, you know, it was cool. And then kind of, and I think especially like when you're overseas for a couple months, you have to kind of mentally prepare for that. And then when it just goes away, it's kind of like, whoa, what do we do? So, and not only go away, but then the whole world is just kind of in a, you know, in a pandemic.
Once in a lifetime figures it has to happen during our lifetime. You know what I mean? Like once a century, we get stuck in the middle of it. Like you read about it in books and you're like, oh, great. That's great that it happened when I'm 30 years old right now. You know, like awesome.
It is a crazy thing because you read about that stuff and you're just like, well, that's not going to ever apply to me, and that will never happen.
Yeah.
And so then it does, and then you got to just kind of figure it out. So, hey. So then you just, I mean, I guess you kind of do just have to take it a day at a time. Mm-hmm. And so I've been kind of, I think my mentality has kind of just been like, all right, I think there should be a balance. I think that during, you know, while we're like forced to be at home and, you know, and we can't be out working and doing what we normally would be doing.
Right.
I think that we should allow ourselves some grace to just chill and relax. Because I think, you know, a lot of our culture kind of has a mindset that's like, well, if I'm not busy and productive, then, you know, then I'm wasting my time, or I'm not, you know, you start to lose self-worth maybe. Mm-hmm. And that can be really tough mentally. And I think, you know, I feel like a lot of people are in that place where it's just like, man, I can't be doing what I feel like the thing that I, you know, that I put my worth and value in. it's just not happening. And so then you could kind of mentally deteriorate. And so I think allowing yourself some distance from that, and just being like, okay, well, this is what it is. If I take today, or if I take a few hours out of today and I'm just watching Netflix, or I'm just chilling, I'm sitting on the couch, allow yourself to do that, because there's not a whole lot else to do.
Yeah.
And then, but I think, like, for the people who are constantly looking to be productive, I think I've just kind of been looking for ways to do that, going for runs, or a bike ride, or, I play my drums every day.
Right.
I guess I'm lucky enough to have my drums here. But just little things to like, if you can, I guess I've kind of just tried to, like, put little goals for the day. And if I can, like, cross off a couple things, then I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I've like felt productive today. Maybe not as much as I normally would if the world wasn't shut down, but I can be okay with this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man, because, like, there are certain days where I just, like, I don't feel like a waste, but, like, I get frustrated because I'm like, this summer was supposed to be wild, especially from, like, a music standpoint, and, like, great, like, Rage was going to tour, and, like, Smashing Pumpkins and Guns N' Roses, like, there's Sad Summer. There were going to be so many great festivals, and, like, that allows for and concerts, and that allows for opportunities. And, like, sometimes, you kind of, you get down a little bit because you're just like, damn, or, like, an agent's not calling me back, or, well, guess what? There's no gig out there right now for you. So it is frustrating, but on the flip side, it's like, well, I've been trying to be able to, like, take what I can control. And like you said, those small victories, and, like, like, being able to just, stay healthy as much as you can. Granted, there's been some weekends where I'm still, going through a 12-pack and living my life, obviously, because, like, what else am I going to do on certain nights? But still, it is a balance, like you said. Have you learned anything more about yourself, or have you found, like, a new hobby? Like, I know everyone's been doing, like, puzzles and shit, or I got over those, like, the first month. I did so many puzzles off Amazon. Like, have you been, like constructing anything, or, like, found anything new about yourself, like, that level, I should say?
Well, I guess, I mean, the biggest thing is, I got married New Year's Eve.
Right. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, I think going into, like, when everything shut down, my wife and I were both kind of just like, oh man, how's this gonna work? Like, a lot of our relationship, I've been on the road, or she's been, like, in another, in another state working, or here just super busy. And so this is really the first time that we have, like, spent a lot of time together at once. And so it's been really great. I think figuring out, like, routine and lifestyle together, I mean, I guess it's kind of been a good time for this to happen right in the beginning.
Talk about growing with each other. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, being able to grow with each other. It's like, hey, we're stuck with we're literally stuck with each other,
Yeah, it's kind of the ultimate test. So if we can survive this in our marriage, then I think we should be good to go.
Right.
Today.
Yeah. Then I think you guys picked the right one in each other. If you can survive this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can survive anything,
Totally. And I think, so I guess within that, I just traveling a lot, we would just kind of, like, eat whatever was close by. Like, we would just go to a restaurant or order something. Didn't do a lot of cooking. And I think that's kind of been the biggest change. We've been cooking a lot.
Okay.
Which is cool. And I guess that's probably, I mean, a lot of people probably gotten into cooking over this time, but, like, when you're forced to, and restaurants are closed and you can't just go dine somewhere, then it's just, all right, well, I guess we'll eat in. And
yeah. So Josh is now a cook on the side. We can add that to the resume. He's who's better? Yeah. Who's better, you or her? And have you done, like, the banana bread? Because I know the banana bread's a big craze. I did that myself, or tried to. That was a disaster.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely is. We've kind of like joked about it because it was like something where I didn't know really that she had this skill and talent until we got married. So yeah, like, and that's a cool thing when you marry somebody, you learn even more about them.
Right.
And I feel like most of the time you hear like the bad things where it's like, oh man, I didn't know that my significant other does this or this, or and
snores or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only been good stuff.
Yeah.
So
good, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. And just trying to make the positives, like we said, as we speak here with Josh Dunn from 21 Pilots here on the Gun Show. And it was only a couple months ago by now, but you sneaky bastards, and that's why we love you. You drop a Level of Concern. The song is a vibe. The song is a jam, dude. I immediately put it on my social media, and I was like, yo, I don't care what mood you're in. I don't care if it's like 9 a.m. and like you're getting ready to go to work. And by getting ready to go to work, I mean like you're going to sit on your couch onto your laptop because you can't go anywhere, to just like, just going on like a Zoom party with my friends and like you play a song in the background while everyone's, doing a happy hour. That song is a vibe, man. And like, I fully support and think it was very cool for you guys to put it out when you did. A lot of stuff in this music industry, and a lot of industries, but especially music industry, is timing. And that held us over, man. That like, the trenchers and stuff, and like, the fans, the Pilot fans and stuff, is just, that kept them busy, man. And very cool for you to be able to put that out. And the song is still jams, man. It's 2 months later, 3 months later, whatever. And I'm just like, hell yeah, let's go. So good job. Good job, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun to do. I think that was a fun project too, especially like right in the beginning when everything was kind of shutting down. Tyler was kind of like, hey, I got an idea for kind of like started working on this song. He just got a guitar not too long ago, and that guy he'll just pick up something and get good at it right away. And so he's like, yeah, I got a guitar, so I've been kind of messing around with this new song, and I'm just going to send it to you, and we'll just kind of record this thing remotely. And which is another challenge, because I think ideally we're in close proximity when we're working on music. So it was kind of like, we'll see how this works, kind of like recording from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, he sent me over the idea, and I was like, of course you're sweet at guitar now, all of a sudden. And
there's always those people out there, you're just like, of course, oh great, of course you hit the half court shot, you know what I mean? Like, of course you would. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So but it was exciting. Yeah, it was cool. And then it was just kind of something that we so then we were like on the phone or FaceTime every day, kind of talking about the song and then video stuff. And it was just it was a really fun process to create that. And even though we weren't like in the same room working on it, we were kind of just on the phone more than we typically are when we're like off the road.
Yeah.
And so it was fun. It was just 1 a.m., 2 a.m. we're like on group calls with a guy who helped us produce the song, and just like laughing, and it was a good time. I mean, yeah, it's definitely fun to have something to work on when you're stuck at home.
And you guys said the streaming, live stream type thing that's going on still to this day, because what is time anyway these days? You go to 21pilots.com, you got the music video, because who knows? I don't know what day it is, you know what I mean? So you can go on there and just continually on loop, which is fun and very cool for you to give back to the fans out there that, the word of the year is content. Everyone needs to push content, and it's cool and interesting to see how different bands are doing different things. Also part of that, I know you guys were doing like Crew Nation donations for, your crew, very, being able to support them, because a lot of times, crews live tour by tour. And I thought it was cool for you to be able to get back and raise awareness from that. And it just shows that 21 Pilots mentality, and also family that you've been able to have for a decade, like pretty much a decade now, man. And that's really like harned in and brought in those fans, and a lot of them are friends over the years too. So very cool stuff there. I want to shout that out. So. Yeah.
It's, I think, trying to just create opportunities for people, and with the Never Ending music video, it's you can still submit your videos, and it definitely goes through a screening process, so make it
Yeah.
make it reasonable.
Yeah, make it PG. Yeah, well, we keep
Yeah.
it PG if you would. Yeah.
Yeah, and but you can be in the video, and it's every time you refresh the music video, it's a different,
Yeah.
something different, which is pretty cool. I don't think anything has been done like that before.
Yeah.
And then the Crew Nation thing, yeah, man, it's just thinking about, even those memories of like the very first days, talking about some of those first shows and first tours. We got some of those same guys on the road with us, and so they are like our family. Those are the people that are with us day in and day out, and they leave their families behind to come and set up and run shows for us. And they definitely, there's so much stuff that they do behind the scenes, and so realizing that they don't have jobs if we're not out on the road, that was something for us where we're like, man, we can't let that happen. So
yeah. I would say this, and then I know we just got a couple, we'll try to wrap up. I know you're in a rush and stuff, but always a great time having you on. But I would say this though, man, like I know it is frustrating that you're not overseas right now, but I guess it doesn't make things easier, but at least it wasn't that certain bands were still able to tour. It's like everyone, once like everything got shut down, unfortunately, but maybe a little positive is like, oh, it wasn't just like, oh, our label won't let us, but why do they get to? It's like we're all screwed together, essentially.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a great, I mean, that does help. That's actually, I haven't really thought about that before, but that's good perspective, because yeah, if it's just like, all right, you have to cancel this tour, but then everyone else is out there playing shows and touring, you definitely feel that, that just bummer, you're not able to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do think the idea of, we're all like, it sucks, we're all like at home, not like hanging out with people, not going doing this or this, but yeah, it's not like other people are out having a good time. So, well, I guess some are.
Yeah.
Maybe not the smartest.
Yeah, there you go. Well said. A perfect leeway into this. I've been able to see you guys play. Many of the fans have too throughout the years. I remember like the Webster Hall shows back in the day.
Yeah.
The studio show where like you couldn't even do a jump because the Webster Hall studio is literally like 7 feet. Like you can't. There's nowhere to go. Like like Neon Tree Tour and shit back in the day. And of course, like Save Rock and Roll, man. That tour will always be one of my favorites. I remember just going with like, a bunch of the homies from the label and stuff, like to the multiple, like the Philly show and to the New York City show, because everyone was like, yo, you got to get there early. 21 Pilots. It's a lot of times arena tours, you don't go early for the first band, but that tour, man, was so wild because it was you guys. And then obviously Fall Out Boy, Panic. Panic was just becoming Panic again. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was like when Brendan really transformed into being Brendan. And like that around that era, and then Save Rock and Roll was like Fall Out Boy being able to like be Fall Out Boy still with those jams. And then 21 Pilots, man, opening up. So being able to see, the growth of it throughout the years and just thinking back to them as I am right now live with you, it puts a smile on my face, man, because what a time, But I would put that into this question. When you finally are able to have a live concert again and perform 21 Pilots, a live event, don't look at like album cycle or anything like that or set list. What is the first song that you would want to play live from 21 Pilots when this is all over in front of a crowd? What song do you most want to? I don't care what album it's from, but what one would you want?
At a show.
Yeah, at a show. Yeah, first show back after all this Corona stuff's over. 21 Pilots, empty set list.
Oh, man. Potentially one that hasn't been written yet, but I think from sort of just the this like culmination of not being able to play shows and just being like at home wishing we were on tour and kind of like sort of fantasizing about tour, I think probably Heavy Dirty Soul. Okay. I think that's just like that over the past few years, sort of opening with that song has just been it's just it's a feeling of just kind of like, I guess when you talk about the sort of like the butterflies or the feeling of like before a show, just that kind of like excitement, nervousness, knowing that that's kind of the song that sort of settles in and gets the whole thing going, and realizing that there's like another 2 hours of a show to put on. It's kind of like, all right, this is the beginning. Here we go.
It's like, let's go. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That one's so fun to start with. And it's just, it really sets a tone for what the show's going to be and what it's going to look like. And I think Tyler and I, that's one that we've always loved opening with. And it's been hard to find a replacement for that. And I think Jumpsuit has kind of done that. Near the end of our last tour, we kind of did a little bit of both, Jumpsuit and Heavy Dirty Soul. And yeah, that one's just fun. It's really fun to play.
Now, for the audience out there, you can't look at him, but he is smiling because he's feeling like I know you're just envisioning being able to play in front of crowds again. You know, I mean, that's what you do. That's what we do. We go to shows. That's what we do. So fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
It'll happen. It'll happen one day, hopefully sooner than later, but
yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah. Real quick, this is the rapid fire. A lot of fans tweeted in just certain questions. These are all easy questions, whatever. Somebody asked, cereal or milk first?
Cereal first.
Okay, cereal. Yeah, I feel like that's normal. Yeah. If there was a Jamba Juice drink made or named after you, what would have to be in it?
Man, probably. I think I probably wouldn't be able to go without peanut butter.
Okay. Yeah, definitely peanut butter. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's crucial.
How's it feel being an uncle?
And it's cool.
To Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough right now too. I've only seen her once. Just trying to play it safe, trying to just make sure. I feel like worst possible thing that could happen is her getting compromised. Just her immune system isn't developed yet. And so just trying to be smart about, when and how to kind of see her interact with like a newborn baby. But man, talking to Tyler and Jenna, they're like different people almost having a kid now. And it's so cool to watch. Just kind of Tyler evolve into this kind of like phase of life. And, it's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool.
And final thing, I just want to say this. Thanks once again, Jocelyn, 21 Pilots, for coming on the Gun Show. Oh, dude, it's always a blast, man. And thanks for just being, legit throughout the years, because it's so easy to just get lost no matter what, what industry or whatever things are going through. But I always appreciate like the level of hominess and just being a cool and down to earth dude. And like, that means a lot because, I've seen people change and it is easy to change, but you've always been awesome. But from a music standpoint, every single album that you guys have put out, it's so, I can never, it's hard to describe 21 Pilots still. And, sometimes like in 1975 will put out, when 1975 was starting to become 1975, then you had all these bands that were not sounding like them, but you could tell were clear influences. Like they kind of changed that dynamic. You look at like Lil' Kim back in the day, Lil' Kim, and then it took years, but then you have like that aggressive female rap like Nicki Minaj and like, like boom, like, there's always those artists. And I feel like you guys always do take chances with those songs that you put out. And I'm sure it's not always the safe route. It's definitely not always the safe route, but you guys go with what you love. And still to this day, like when people are like, oh, how's the new album sound? Or like every time a new album comes out, it's just like, just listen to it. Like it's so hard for me to describe 21 Pilots music or the genre still. And that's rare. And like, I really appreciate that, man. I love music, man. I love music. And like, that's so rad that you've been able to do that with each and every single album throughout the years. And it's special. It's really special because not too many bands can say that it's literally just like 21 Pilots. It's very cool.
Wow. That means a lot. Especially put like that. Cause I do think, we have conversations about that for sure. When working on new music, and it is one where we try to go through the filter. Like, would we put this on if this was another band and not us? And would we just listen to it? And surprisingly, I feel like probably a lot of bands don't really do that. It's kind of just like create music and then just put it out. but I mean, I think some do, but I think that is kind of a pretty important thing to think about. And then also think about people like you and, you know, how is this going to translate? And this is different from stuff that we've done before, but will it still kind of track with, you know, people who have historically liked this type of song? And so knowing that it does, and that it does kind of work, that's really meaningful. So thanks for saying that.
Yeah, of course, man. And level of concern is a good, you know, it's holding us over for now. And the final question is, do you think more songs coming out? I mean, it's like you said, it's a weird time right now. Like pre-production, everything can be pre-production right now, quote unquote, right? Because you can't really produce anything.
I know.
A lot of thoughts going on right now, laying down some stuff like when you can or whatever.
Yeah, we're working on songs. There's no real set date. Hopefully sooner than later. But the way that we typically kind of work is it's just like, well, we'll just kind of keep working on stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, we'll look at each other and be like, oh, this is an album's worth of songs that we have now, and so then we'll kind of go from there. Yeah, right now we're just working and recording and writing, and like I said, that's really fun. I'm thankful to be doing that during this time, and it's keeping us busy and keeping us creative. And so yeah, I mean, hopefully soon, I guess, is the answer.
There it is, man. And listen, for anybody who wants more Pilots music, I've recently fallen back in love with Trees. I didn't always like Trees in the beginning for some reason, but I can't get enough of Trees, dude. Like, well, the live show makes it that much better. But Trees, like, I've just been like pre-gaming, even though I'm not going out right now, but just like pre-gaming with my friends to Trees. I added it to like my emo night DJ sets that I do. Like we do like Webster Hall, Irving Plaza. Like, even though like it's not whatever, I was like, this song's a fucking jam. Like, why would I not play it? So I've fallen back in love with Trees, man. There's a lot of 21 Pilots songs out there that people can go back and listen to, even though there might not be, you know, we don't get too much new music these days. So you got quite the discography. So very cool, man. Josh Dunn, dude, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, dude. Always great catching up, dude. Thanks once again for just being great throughout the years, and just can't wait to see you guys back out there. Can't wait for new jams, new songs. Obviously, check out Level of Concern. It is a vibe. I'm telling you, it is a vibe. I don't care if you're drinking rosé or pounding PBRs. It is a jam. So it's all good. So, but thanks, man. I do appreciate you coming on the Gun Show once again, man, and just being cool throughout the years.
Man, likewise. Thanks for always supporting us and you know, sticking with us from the beginning, even when, you know, things do change or look a little bit different. It's really cool to know that, you know, you still support us, and it's really cool. So thanks.
Awesome. Very cool. That's Josh Dunn, 21 Pilots. Check them out. Of course, donate to the crew if you can as well. A lot of cool different merch bundles. A lot of merch. Shout out to Amy and Dan. A lot of different merch designs. We love them. My buddies over there, and a lot of cool stuff there. And this is Guns, the Gun Show. And let's do this. Let's play Guns for Hands, because rumor is that it was originally spelled with a Z in dedication to me. It was spelled G-U-N-Z instead of G-U-N-S. And we'll go with that. Is there any truth to that rumor, by the way? Sure, right? Yeah. Perfect. With flattery at its finest. Josh Dunn, it's Guns. This is The Gun Show.